Previously on Horns and Wings. We talked about like the first half of the issue pretty much, and we're getting into that second half now. Enjoy.
We've got an establishing shot of I don't actually know what planet this is. I don't think it's Fong.
I believe
it is Wreath.
Yeah, it's
Wreath.
the moon of Wreath.
The moon,
with,
Wreath
landfall
with the
in the
planet
background.
behind. Yeah.
Yep.
We've got like a golden yellow sky, and we have a shot of Gwendolyn and Sophie and Lion Cat walking towards an old-fashioned outhouse with like the moon cut out of the door and everything.
This is where Shrek starts, right?
Yes, the opening shot of Shrek, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're talking about how there's going to be a meeting in there, and Gwendolyn says something in blue, and the door pops open, and she's also carrying this kind of clockwork rotary cube looking item.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, stay out here no matter what. If I don't come out in 15 minutes, tell my wife I died somewhere exotic, to Sophie. Then she steps through a green door on the next page, and it's a very kind of surreal space. Kind of imagine like what I think the inside of a Devo hat probably looks like, with kind of a stair-step circular shape, but it's made of like a really deep jade kind of marble turquoisey
I'm including
material.
the outer space in the background and stuff too.
Yeah, of course.
Inside the Devo hat? Yeah, naturally.
It doesn't, yeah, it
It's a
seems
galaxy
like
brain.
the background, I don't know if it's galaxy print or this is floating in space, but it doesn't seem like there's any kind of lid on this space. But yeah, it's a very like,
It feels like the kind of
Escher
place where you
style.
would fight like the final boss of Smash Bros, you know?
exactly, it
Like
feels
the-
like
Oh, this
that
is
Final
definitely a Final
Destination, I think
Destination.
it's called.
Yep.
Yeah, where there's like
Yep.
not really much detail. It's just this bottom half of inside of a Devo hat with nothing at the top, and there's outer space in the background and a door at either end. And so Gwendolyn and Lion Cat walk through, and they're meeting Gale down there, who has two soldiers, like a soldier on either side. Gale says, obviously this meeting never happened. Lion Cat says, lying. And it's clear that Gale does not like that species, the lion cat. And Gwendolyn says that Lion Cat is here to verify that I solemnly swear this is exactly what you assholes requested. And Lion Cat doesn't say anything, so it's like a verification, two-factor authentication type of thing. And so Gale takes the cube from
He passes
Gwendolyn.
the CAPTCHA.
Yeah, he sure did. Gwendolyn expresses that her concern in this whole thing, this whole like dark dealing, whatever this is to protect the rest of Fang or Fong. How can we guarantee that civilians won't be harmed? Gale has this. Yeah, I'll just read this line word for word because I think it's a relatively important speech bubble part. Our bosses will spend as much political capital as they have to relocate as many locals as they can onto whatever allies don't have the clout to tell them to fuck off. But this is first and foremost about bringing a dignified close to a theater of war that's already cost both of our sides way too much. And Gwendolyn masterful response is that all Fang is to you demons, quote unquote theater. I like that, yeah, because the phrase theater of war always struck me wrong, even like in middle school or whatever, learning about the Pacific Theater. It's like theater, it just feels so artificial and performative, and it's wild.
Except it's so accurate.
Yeah, right? It's all just a show, man. Yeah, Gale takes the cube and turns with the soldiers and starts walking away. Yeah, Gale says, if anything goes wrong with this, Wreath High Command will have you quietly executed long before you can rat them out to the press. Bet you never wanted that cat to open its disgusting mouth more, huh? And Lion Cat just looks at Gwendolyn, doesn't say anything. Then we get Hazel transitional narration. Most of us think we can hide our weaknesses from the world, and sometimes we're right, as Sophie looks through the door.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
How much of a flex is it for Fiona Staples to make this void Devo hat a reflective surface? She didn't need to do that. Like,
Not
she
at
didn't
all.
need to make it a reflective marble thing. Like, that's so much extra work with lighting and reflections and shadows.
I have firsthand knowledge of this because on Suffragettes, a comic I did that takes place in a very fancy mansion, the artist did a floor as marble, and then told me I immediately regret this because it is so hard to do. And I mean, she made it incredibly gorgeous and accurate, and it was great to look at. But like, you could just tell how much effort it was put into making it work. But also, I just love the detail that, because I think we're to assume that this is just a weird little, this is the meeting space.
It's like a
zone
pocket dimension.
Yeah, and but I love that the door that Gwendolyn comes through is green, and the one that Special Agent Gale comes through is purple, which are the two colors of Wreath and Landfall.
This is our first like real kind of like textual evidence. There was a hint a couple episodes ago, but of Landfall and Wreath in some sense, like, having actual dealings with each other and like collaborating behind the scenes.
Quick question on the establishing shot page. Noah, does your omnibus have a printing error here? Looking at Lying Cat.
Looking at Lying Cat.
I am reading from the trade paperback, volume 7, and I don't know if it's just my issue, but the blue on this page is super off. It's almost like they went over it twice or something, but it's like a really dark blue for Lion Cat, and the blue she says going into the outhouse.
No, Lion Cat's turquoise in my omnibus, like looks normal Lion Cat colors.
Yeah, looks correct in my trade paperback.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm selling this copy for $150 for anyone that wants it.
Yeah, you got the Edition D Butterfree over
there.
It's a shiny Lion Cat.
But speaking of this blue, I really like this blue. Does anyone want to guess what Gwendolyn's saying in blue here?
I think I know.
So what is it? What is the Esperanto version of it?
The
Malfermita Sesamo.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
it is.
Open Sesame.
Yes, it is.
That's wonderful.
I feel like I'm getting better at Esperanto because Malfermita I think it's literally like unclose. Because like ferme in French is close, right? And like mal, like.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's impressive.
I'm a linguist. What can I say? I think something that really strikes me about this like double page spread is usually we talk a lot about how Fiona Staples pulls colors from one page onto the next, but in this one the colors are so distinctly different, and I think that's really intentional to like very clearly have this idea that you're walking through like into this completely other different space.
It's very jarring. Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Going into the TARDIS here. But yeah, I love this. I love the whole aesthetic. I really think this is just a 4-page example of how great of sandbox Brian K. Vaughan has created for himself here, because this is a scene that you have seen multiple times before in media, of the two sides meeting up. It's a negotiation. It's a power play type thing, and under the table dealings. But the fact that in Saga, first we get that great transition of we're walking into an outhouse, into an outhouse TARDIS, but then in addition to that, we have this amazing sort of hook to the whole scene, which is Lion Cat being there. And so the fact that we have these under the table dealings and getting to see Special Agent Gale perform, who, you never trust a single word he says, and then seeing that dynamic of him around a Lion Cat, and then he just manages to make that work to his benefit anyway, and show you how fucking nefarious and brilliant of a character he is.
Right.
Of him
so
saying
calculating.
You'll be executed, and
I
bet your
love
Lion Cat would call my bullshit.
I love Gwendolyn calling him a demon too, with his wings. Like it's so just cohesive.
And he's wearing like a black suit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He definitely, spoiler alert for the Laupers, he would win the most punchable face award by far.
Oh, there's the one straight on shot of him where he's just Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
And it's jarring.
I was going to say he looks like Adrian Brody right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I would
nose.
love to see Adrian Brody as Special Agent Gale.
Adrian Brody
that to the
playing the
casting
character he
list.
played in Succession as Special Agent Gale, like that energy, so good.
Has anyone seen French Dispatch?
No, not yet.
Not yet. It's on
He
YouTube,
is-
though, I think, now, isn't it?
Oh, really?
I tried to get tickets to the theater, and it's already out.
Oh wow. Yeah. No, it's that. Yeah, it was very much victim to. I think it was like pre-Christmas rush, where before Spider-Man wiped out everything else playing. But Adrian Brody is just pretty much this character where he's this kind of hyper charming, conniving, like manipulative asshole that you just absolutely love. And it's the first time in a while that I've seen Adrian Brody as just reminding me that he can be likable. Something. But yeah, no, that'd be spot on casting. What else about this scene?
I do love that he refers to Lion Cat as hairless sack of piss.
There's so many good. We should do
has
just
good
a compilation
insults,
of the best insults of this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and also I think like just him in this suit and stuff. Like he's also just straight up Lucifer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Especially
Good
that
plan.
establishing shot.
Yeah.
Which again, making the demons thing
Yeah.
all the better.
We'll get into that in 10 years when Saga's done and John and I move on to our Sandman podcast.
I mean, here's my second pitch for this episode for a Saga series. Just give me a spin-off series that falls around Special Agent Gale, because he is just so lovably terrible. And I still hate him.
Just Succession, but in Saga
Oh
with
my
the movers and
God,
shakers
yes.
of Landfall and Wreath.
That's a great idea.
I mean, yeah, that's like, I would love a House of Cards I could watch again.
Oh, there
That'd
you
be
go.
great.
Yeah. There's a need. There's a power vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like the setup of the box. The golden box.
I just love, like, it's so on character for Special Agent Gale to have, like, a visceral reaction to Lion Cat.
Yeah, just this fucks up my entire thing.
Yeah.
It's a very theatrical posing. Like, I feel like he should be starting a musical number with the hand pose and, like, the way
the
he's leaned
song's
back.
called Hairless Sacks of Piss. That's the... it's a little, like,
How long
group
until
number.
How long until the musical? Okay, that's my third pitch. Is
Saga the
Broadway
musical.
Saga musical.
Saga.
Okay, we'll someday when we're caught up and we need content to fill, we will write the Saga Broadway musical, okay?
Incredible.
All right, so here's my transition. Here is that the narrator of that musical is absolutely in this next scene. And I think we
Oh.
should meet them.
I just gotta
yes.
say, you could make it a jukebox musical and just use the playlist from Horns and Wings.
Oh my god.
No, don't wish this upon the world.
Yes.
Oh,
that'd
God.
be hilarious.
Brilliant.
Those
Brilliant.
literal, like, Fard walks on and there's Big Balls by AC/DC. Just the worst shit.
It makes such
Oh
a
my
mockery out of
God.
such a beautiful piece of art. It's wonderful.
It's a jukebox musical. If the biggest asshole in the world walked up to the jukebox.
I want Andre the Giant singing Big Balls as Fard. That's
Good
all
luck
that
with
I
that, my
want.
friend. Obviously, it's going to be Dwayne Johnson. All right. We're not getting into Fard casting right now because that's gonna add
not have
another
time
hour
for
onto
that.
this.
Honestly,
I
I
did
don't
such a
even-
good transition into this next scene.
I don't even remember what the latest lore with the Fard cast is.
Oh boy, do I! Well, I'm sure we'll never have to go back to that again.
Just pray that you never have technical difficulties.
God. All right, now
All right.
What's happening here?
All right, so we get the THN. Most of us think that we can hide our weaknesses from the world, and sometimes we're right, but only if we're very strong. Over another establishing shot of Fang cutting through space. Then we come in close to Petrichor looking for Isabel. She's wandering through a swampy sort of ghost town area when she's confronted by a giant mushroom. The mushroom speaks like Thor and says it's a blue coat planted in places of conflict to remember tales of battle for the future. The blue coat...
Blue cap. Right?
Oh, blue cap. Yeah, sorry. Did I say
Right.
blue coat? Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn. From the top.
Let's do it.
Hey, guys. Yeah. The mushroom says it's a blue cap, planted in places of conflict to remember tales of battle for the future. The blue cap tells her that all the people have evacuated from Fang, some of their own free will, most at gunpoint. Petrichor asks what is coming, and the mushroom says, the real question is, page turn, where are we going? And I wrote here, vamp about how gorgeous this splash is. We see...
What do we see?
Possibly my favorite Saga panel ever. Maybe my second favorite. Second only to the original vision of the time suck. We get a double splash page of the time suck having grown up. It is this giant baby floating in space with like Saturn-style rings around its head. It's got the 3 glowing eyes that the witches had on its head. It's kind of like its fingers are kind of reaching up. It looks almost ghostly or like undead. On one page, there's like a black moon flying next to it. Then on the other page, there's a sun, and Fang is minuscule, flying toward this looming horror. It is this. I want this tattooed on my face. It's so gorgeous. It's just the scale that Fiona Staples captures with it. Like, Fang the Comet looks so tiny. This baby is absolutely enormous and looks so uncanny. It's so close to being human, and yet it's not.
It's so creepy. It leans into her strength for horror, where it just looks like a zombie child, basically, with these creepy pinhole glowing eyes, and 3 of them. It's very
and
creepy.
The fingers are kind of contorted in this weird, scary
you
way.
couldn't make your hands do that. Yeah.
I mean, it's that Lovecraft level of just cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Of the things that where you start thinking about, like, well, yeah, if there was literally a massive, like, solar system sized baby born in space, it's like, what would it become when it was conscious? Would it just be in constant terror with nothing to communicate with or raise it? Like, and then the technique that I absolutely love here, that is so fucking smart. We've talked before how the characters are separated from the background, in that the characters have much flatter colors, more traditional coloring, and then the backgrounds are often painted and have, like, you know, brush strokes and stuff. And the fact that the time suck is painted instead of having those flat colors, making it feel
part of the background.
Subconsciously like it is a landmark or a setting or something rather than a character, is so fucking smart. The
way the light hits it and plays off its face too, like the whole thing. It's also, this is honestly, I think one of the first instances, and I hope this isn't too much of a spoiler, we'll get more of these sorts of things in over the next couple arcs, is these instances of something really cool that appeared earlier in the series that you're like, oh, that was really cool, but you didn't think it would come back, and then it comes back with a vengeance, you know? Like, it's so it's such a thing where the time suck is such an incredible set piece from earlier. It's like this whole incredible action pieces around it, but you kind of think that's it, right? Like, to have it come back into this, it's such a payoff for something that you didn't even know was planted.
Yeah, and then even them referencing a time suck an issue or two ago is just, it's again one of those things where they can just set that up because you're not going to even assume that it's going to be. And it was very blatant setup of just like Jabari's just like, oh yeah, time sucks, huh? We had one of those like a while back, and it's just interrupted, and it's just like, yeah, you could just straight up do that because I assume that, I mean, partly because you can't even fathom what the fuck it's gonna be at this point. And I love also there's that like reveal on top of it of it is just a straight up like, it looks like a fucking toddler now. And the fact that it wasn't really, I mean, it was sort of fetal before, and it did not have that distinctly human form before. It was almost like reptilian. And so that reveal of like it's just becoming this massive space human.
It looks like almost sentient.
Yeah, and it's just like, what the fuck is out there? Like, is there a whole species of massive solar system space
galactic
humans
super
out there?
predators is what I believe they call time sucks the first time we meet them.
And the fact that we have the rings around the head, and then the even some planets with their own moons in its orbit, like, and just how disruptive this is to everything.
I don't know what it is, but Fiona Staples also really captures the weightlessness of space here. Like, it really feels like it's floating.
I think the
in
angle
space.
of it helps.
Yeah.
I feel like if this kid was just like sitting on a mother's lap, it would just look like Jesus in like a medieval painting. Because he's floating and alone and upside down. It feels
and kind of
so
horrific.
Much more alien. For sure.
Yeah, no, it's fucking great. And then we haven't even talked about
the whole
this
scene.
Is one of those characters along with the I think we talked before way back on the Time Suck Egg Planet. We talked about how they're the midwives.
Yeah.
Is that what they were called?
Yeah.
With the upside down face, like witches.
Yeah, and the eyes like the time suck. Yeah.
And they are, that's right. They are in the comic for I think 3 pages or something, and they have stuck with me so vividly. It is the exact same with the blue cap. Where it's just like, this is a character that has been so thoroughly lodged into my mind. The fact that like literally we get a different font for the dialogue for him, almost like it's a storybook.
Yeah, it's Thor's font. It's how Thor talks.
And I love that connection of, because there's a very strong connection between mushrooms in Victorian English like fairy tales. You see a lot of mushrooms pop up, and
you see a lot of mushrooms pop up in my life too, John.
Fucking brag. High art, am I right?
Hey.
Finally landed. I finally did it. But and there's a lot of there are mushrooms that look like this, but also a lot of psychedelic mushrooms. When they bruise, they turn blue. And it feels it has this like very fairy tale storybook thing.
It's also got this like horror to it too, though. Like it's very much in the like Lovecraftian horror with no eyes and this kind of like weird like stringy mouth.
This this area that she's in and the blue cap is 100% has to appear in a Dark Souls game. There's no way that this half sunken decrepit city and the horrifying Victorian monster mushroom have not shown up in a Dark Souls game.
What's really weird to me, that second panel there, it looks like something from Hanna-Barbera. Like, it looks like limited animation, like a Scooby-Doo background or something. I don't know if it's the colors or what, but it looks like it's from Johnny Quest or
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo or something. It's mostly just that one panel, but I'm like, I love that art style, and it's very unique.
It's like
Maybe it's
purple
just the way that
canyons and stuff.
the
Yeah.
houses are drawn or something.
Yeah, they've kind of got this like dramatic like skewed thing. Like they're all kind of like
Mm-hmm.
Like that
cartoonishly
German
at angles.
expressionist type
Yeah.
thing with
And maybe it's because
weird
we don't really
angles.
see much like architecture that was around. Like this kind of looks like it's from the 1800s
yeah, it's all
or
been
something.
like oil refineries
The-
up
Right.
to this. Like, yeah.
German expressionist is exactly how that panel feels to me. Like even with the
Yeah.
framing, with the ladder in front,
The
like,
ladder, especially, yeah.
Yeah. Cool shit.
That's a
yeah,
great
I
point.
mean, this is these 4 pages like are one of the first things I think of when thinking of Saga. Like just and just, you know, kind of embody why I love it so much. But yeah, just the amount of dope shit that we get in these 4 pages that kind of is like the high point of the arc for me in terms of things that really stick in my memory.
Just the lore too of these sentient mushrooms being planted to remember war and combat. Like it's so and on point with the whole themes going on in this episode, you know, like in this issue is like the, you know, the toll of war is kind of being talked about a lot, right?
Yeah, I really like anytime this book goes like full Alice in Wonderland. I'm all about it because that's when it like it is such a good, again, a great sandbox for that, just kind of running into more absurd characters that are just like that just break the logic of things so much but are just spot on for this.
What about
good
Saga making a collection of like fairy tales from this universe?
Oh hell yeah!
Releasing
I mean,
that
that's
as a
what we
The
thought,
book?
like-
Odendron.
Yeah, I think we talked about how there needs to we need to get one of those children's books that D. Oswald Heights has talked about.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be fucking great. Oh, I think that was like on your podcast we talked about as potential merch. Having,
yeah.
That could,
the
you're right. You're right. We were
bookstore
talking about
and having
the board
like,
games and
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Well,
that is a
all
good
the more
idea.
reason to build that theme park now. That's the only way we're gonna get it.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else to say about that scene, or should we move on to the final one?
Just wow. That's what I've got to say about that scene.
WoW is accurate. Yep. I love the scale of it. I love the colors of outer space and that splash.
The blue, and a surprise to no one, the blue that because Petrichor is far away from the translation rings, so she's speaking blue, and she just says, "Isabel, you out there?" Is her blue. Quick translation there. All right, let's do the final scene. Back in the rocket ship tree, Alana looks angrily in the mirror at her pregnant stomach. My old nemesis, weird dark belly lie. She's interrupted by a painful kick from the baby, and then a voice from off panel. Alana, is anything the matter? Prince Robot has been standing there, shirtless, with a field of Technicolor flowers on his screen, just watching Alana. Four wants to talk privately, but Alana says she's uncomfortable with the amount of shirts in the room. Suddenly, Four's screen spells out lust in that pink, gooey, like mylar balloon fadeaway font, as he very fucking creepily says, "You know, my parents never let me have a pet." Ugh.
Yeah.
So creepy. Yeah. So like inhuman.
Yeah. Alana realizes he's high on whatever was left of Yuma's stash. Four says he can finally see himself as he really is, with his countless sins in highest definition, and that he finally understands why he has feelings for Alana. He aims his arm blaster right at her. Alana is furious. How dare you point that shit at us? She starts to reach for the heavy table lamp behind her, saying, "Don't do this, you're a goddamn father." Four says, "That's precisely why I need to do this. You see, my feelings for you aren't sexual, though I may have confused them as such at first. Now I know that I fell for you because of what an excellent mother you would be to my son. What an excellent mother you will be." Four presses the arm blaster against his own head and says, Please help him be a better man than I was. And that's the end of the goddamn issue.
Fucking this issue takes a 180-degree turn midway through and becomes fucking harrowing.
Yes. It's such like a scary, unhinged, almost like hostage attack, and then you realize he's like suicidal. It's so dark.
It's so dark,
So creepy.
Yeah, it really it is. It's so interesting because it's like, how the hell do you follow up the reveal of the time suck? How is that not the last thing? And it's not the last thing
how's that not the
because you
cliffhanger?
can't have the double splash as the last thing.
Except for the first issue of this arc. And I love that this scene has such interesting beats in that we get what I think we would, if we were to sit down and think what's the worst case scenario of like him taking Fadeaway and him having these sort of fantasies about Alana leading up to this. I think it starts out as confirming our worst fears about what's going to happen, of him saying, my parents never let me have a pet.
Yeah.
And then to take our worst fears and then turn that on its head to something that we weren't even considering could happen in this scenario of him being suicidal, and tying it back into, the opening thing, which again, I think that it might not be a thing we see again, but for most of the arcs, we've had that kind of hook that's in every issue, where it'll be like we start on multiple panels like that we did one of them, or we start with Upshur and Doff at the beginning of every issue for one arc and stuff. But this arc has not really had that, to the point that, this one does not start with a splash when every other one did. This one kind of even broke the single splash at the end of the issue thing. Like it's kind of just been story first, not shut the fuck up. It has been 1 week though, where it's been story first. I hate you. Very story first. And
John is like calculating how not to say the phrase "it's been" as he's saying
so
this.
fucking hard. It's been so fucking hard not to say it.
It's been.
But yeah, this arc has been very just like, we don't even care about doing the fun little tie together all the issues of this arc type thing.
It feels
this
like
arc has just been
been
good storytelling,
unraveling.
This issue is fantastic. Like it starts in such a kind of like it starts in a very weird, like, dark place, but immediately gives you youth and kids and stuff, and then just go deeper into this rabbit hole to continue the Alice in Wonderland thing. And this last scene is so tense, and it just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I mean, it's that if you were to draw a graph of the rising action and stuff, like the pacing of this arc. Last we talked about how last issue is very much kind of just a lot of setup and a lot of fun scenes, and this is very much like we are seeing the rise of that peak towards the climax of this, where all the shit is starting to fall apart. And all of their warnings of everything is going to go bad on this comet is finally showing how that is very obviously going to happen.
Speaking of climax, an interesting observation.
Here, Andrew, do you have anything to say?
It's a good transition though. It's actually going to be good. The worth noting, the like lust text on his screen that is like text done in the same style as the high as fuck when Yuma dies.
Right.
Yeah, like I pointed out in my.
Well, it's just like it's.
Oh,
the
I
official
wasn't paying
fadeaway
attention
font.
to that.
Yeah, I know. We need to start listening to each other in these because we keep repeating. I said the pink gooey mylar balloon fadeaway font. That's the
What you guys
official
need in
name
this
for it.
relationship
Okay,
is
yeah,
just to
no,
listen to each other.
I apologize that I didn't quite, internalize the word vomit that is the pink gooey mylar fadeaway font.
Mylar balloon fadeaway font.
Yeah.
It's very accurate.
I apologize that I didn't quite internalize what you were saying by that.
You didn't parse that one?
Yeah. also,
Keep up, Noah.
it's not fair, especially given how like creepy the rest of the scene gets. But in the first panel here, where Prince Robot has the flowers on his screen and is leading, and his pants are kind of down, Prince Robot is hot as fuck in that scene.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is kind of touching on like every way you see this going, because also, and I think it's also a sense of dread for me, is him and Alana hooking up.
Yeah.
Is equally terrifying. And so I like that he's just like, he set up all these things and just knows exactly where we are going into this scene, like emotionally, with all the things we're terrified of happening, and then subverts that in such a fucking smart way that was so clearly set up by like the opening scene and everything of, he hates himself and he wants his son to have a good upbringing that he did not have.
Yeah.
And like how it starts out where he's got the suit of armor in his fantasy, and then he wakes up and he's sad and frustrated, and immediately upon waking up from his dream goes to get high. Like it's a very dark kind of opening intro and outro to this issue.
Yeah.
It's
Which,
wild.
to be fair, when I saw him opening up that drawer, I assumed it was a dildo, but people interpret it different ways. Now we can finally talk about this grass in this room.
Finally.
Because that was literally on this read through, granted this is like the fourth time I've read this. Well, first of all, like, this read through, that page turn with the time suck still took me by surprise.
Yeah,
I was so
it's-
enamored with the blue cap and stuff that it still just fucking knocked me off my feet. But this time with this final splash, I just immediately focused on Prince Robot's feet, which I do.
As you
I'm
do.
a foot guy. But I was just like, I want to stand on this grass carpet so fucking bad. It looks so fucking comfy. That's such a good way to shoot yourself with a hand blaster.
I love the grass on the scene where the background, where there's the white
was the other thing,
background,
yeah.
as he's like encroaching toward. The action in that too, with he's almost moving like almost like a zombie with like a bit of a hunch, and like Alana's leaning back and backed against the table. Like it's such good action.
And I love that, like, if you look closely at that grass where the background is just white, I love that's just it looks like just a single like brush stroke across to do the top of the grass, which is
it's beautiful.
Which again, separating, having the environmental stuff be way more brush strokey than the characters, like that's used in a really smart way that I don't think I've seen before. Cool stuff.
Did you notice that his arm cannon is like warming up or whatever, like
In the mirror.
when he first points it at the camera, it's just black in the hole, but then like towards the end it's like, it seems like he's actually like about to fire this thing.
And honestly,
I almost wish
the little like ball warming up in his eye cannon, this has to be intentional, looks like the eye of the time suck.
the time suck. Dang. Yeah, I
It's
like
the
that.
eye of the time. So,
Yeah, it's mid.
also in that panel,
It's a bit from another podcast. I can't even do that on my podcast.
You just did.
in that panel, I love the kind of distorted, which we got earlier in this arc, the distorted robot screen used for terrifying effect. But it looks like, it might be just like a beautiful landscape is how I'm seeing that. But like
I was thinking like the ocean at sunset almost.
Yeah. Like I see some ocean in there. I see some sunset in there. I see some green grass in there.
Yeah.
But it is just lines.
Which it makes me wanna go back to the dream he had of the cottage. And
Yeah,
see
that's
if
what
that
I was
matches up
thinking.
at
Yeah,
all.
it feels.
If we were a
like those
professional,
vibes.
Cool.
if we were a professional podcast, we'd go and just
Good
look
thing we're
at
not.
that. But you know,
Saves a lot of
You
effort.
got to make money to be a
Hey,
professional.
no, this is how you do it. Hey, someone in the comments, let us know if that's the same.
Yeah.
That's community involvement.
And now we
too.
have
That's
outreach
outreach to the fan.
engagement.
Yeah.
There we go.
The
Well done.
the shot where you see in the mirror his arm transforming into the cannon and it's just like deformed is so
Yeah.
creepy too.
Yeah.
How did I
Again,
not notice this? I have to find it.
that's another shot that again is very horror influenced. Like seeing the
Oh,
transformation in the mirror, like where you are in the room observing. It's really interesting.
I mean, and again, it's that thing of like things are scarier when it takes you a second to
to
figure
parse
out what
it,
you're
yeah.
seeing. Yeah. No, I really like the just the details of, and I know like I was trying to figure out like, do we have any like logistical origin for this table lamp that she has? Where
It
I'm
felt
wondering if
familiar.
John
to me.
asking the real important questions here.
Yeah, I know.
I
But
wonder
like,
if we've seen it before.
yeah, I'm wondering if it's like the same aesthetic as anywhere else we've been, where it's like, because I like the idea of they're picking up furniture as they go from planet to planet. But I do love like
cool.
the little rocks on the table here, that as if that Hazel brings them rocks
Yeah.
that she finds and they keep them on the little lockbox there. But yeah, I was trying to think of if there is anywhere. But also, I like the idea of like it just came from the tree because it has that same kind of weird, because it's not like a light bulb in there. It's these little orbs of light, and it's still very pineapple plant looking. So it's like everything could conceivably come from the tree somehow.
It looks so like kitschy. Like it looks like something that would be at like a like Malibu beach resort,
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
it looks like old Hollywood.
Yes, exactly. It's also the opening shot of the exterior shot of the rocket ship tree is so ominous with how the sky is done there. In general, throughout the issue, the sky gets kind of bluer and bluer. The space gets more into this like kind of like crisp, almost like teal blue, and like seeing that page turning the time suck and seeing that exact same kind of color in the background is such a good reminder. Just like a little bit of that time suck sticking with you.
Yeah, and also retain that coloring going into the opening splash of next issue, because it really stuck out to me then how gorgeous the coloring is. What
I think
else?
I think I'm good to go to the end stuff if y'all are.
The wrap up?
Yeah.
Drew, are you content?
Keep it, like I've been saying, a
content.
tight hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, we still have the closing bits to do. There's some stuff to
To be
talk
fair,
about still.
In my defense, only 1% of that hour 40 minutes was me saying pinky gooey mylar balloon fadeaway font.
Yeah, I think more of it was me saying that than you, because I really worked my way through it.
You'd really like to chew on it. Actually, I really want to chew on that font.
Yeah, I want to eat it. It looks so good.
It's very bubblegummy.
Guys, I want to be
I don't really
addicted
want to
to
take
fadeaway.
Yeah, fadeaway doesn't look that
Fadeaway.
appetizing. I just want to eat the font.
I would love to eat fadeaway, let it be known, in case that wasn't abundantly clear.
I only want to do it if Andrew's doing it. That's my position on it.
I'll get some
my
fadeaway
God.
practice, and then I'll trip sit for you guys doing your fadeaway.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic. We'll meet at the Saga theme park.
I think that was also suggested at the theme park, is that
Yeah,
people
I'm
do
sure.
drugs.
Lots of fadeaway.
Oh,
Sell fadeaway.
certainly, yes.
Fun for the whole family. All right, let's get into favorite moment. what favorite moments Noah? Do you have a favorite moment from
I
this
wonder.
issue?
I wonder.
If you have a favorite moment in this issue, you've got problems.
Yeah, honestly, that's a very good point. There are so many good moments, but I can't not say the time suck. And do you know why? It's not because it's giant and gorgeous and an incredible piece of art. It's not because it reminds you of the scale of this universe. It's not because it is just some of the most inventive shit you've ever seen. It's because a time suck is the legacy of my boy Fard living on through the stars.
This is Fard Jr.
I'm welling up
Living
here.
on through the stars. I love that.
Yeah, Fard will live on forever.
We've seen the time sucks, beginning of life. It's going to be amazing once he becomes a gross, old, nasty,
Fard,
bottomless adult.
yeah.
Well, you know what? I feel like this will be a compliment for you, Noah. But if I could qualify anyone I know as a time suck, it is absolutely it. I mean that with my whole
Tight
heart.
40 minutes.
Oh my god. 40 minutes.
I'm gonna say
It's not good.
You got me with that one, Andrew.
I'm gonna say my favorite moment is the Special Agent Gale saying "but you never wanted that cat to open its disgusting mouth more," and just that full 180 of the power dynamics in that scene is really, really satisfying.
That's a good point. My favorite is Curdy and Hazel watching Prince Robot IV sleep, watching his dreams and them kind of having like little kid talk about, responsibilities. There's just so much I love about like childhood happening right there. And it's very strange that they're watching someone sleep while it happens. But I like it. Yeah, it's very Saga.
Yeah, that's honestly the thing that we should probably take some time out to appreciate at some point is how many great Hazel things we get out of this arc, specifically because she has Curdy to play off of and someone at her sort of same level.
Right. A child growing up with other kids their age is such an important thing, I feel like. And it's like her whole life, she hasn't really had that until now. It's like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah, we're getting those actual social dynamics.
And a little bit of stability, like 6 months of stability as far as her social situation.
Yeah.
Better than being on the run 24/7 for your whole life.
Or in prison. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. The prison was lovely, but
great educational system there. But all right, and song. I'll start. I'm gonna really throw a what's a baseball thing for when they don't see it coming? Curveball. I'm gonna throw a curveball here. And say Wonder Boy by Tenacious D. Kyle Gass, please,
why did you say that
Kyle
one?
Gass, come on our show.
You know what? I'm gonna say fuck Kyle Gass, Jack Black. I'm sponsoring Jack Black for the show.
No, this is how the Beatles broke up.
Guys, don't break up. Well, you can each do a one-on-one episode.
We can't break
with
up
each member of
because
Tenacious
John
D.
has a birthmark that's a horn and I have a birthmark that's a wing. Yeah, I know the Tenacious D lore too.
You know the Tenacious D shit.
That's awesome. Picking a song was hard. I always knew that was going to be a challenge, but I am going with my gut, and I'm going with Smile in Your Sleep by Silverstein.
Ooh.
And I like the sleeping motif and all of the anger and frustration that Prince Robot IV is going through, and like the violence there and just like the frustration. That song is really cool, and I love Screamo and like metalcore type stuff because the lyrics are usually so poetic at times,
You always
but
struck
also
me as the
super
type.
brutal. Yeah, I am. And that's why I love so much of the dialogue and so much of the like revelations in Saga. There's always like a super brutal part where it's like, some kind of drop has to come in at this point if it's a music, if it's a song. Just because there's always such dark revelations, but then also like a lot of hope and like well observed life moments. And not that song is a work of genius necessarily, but I do think it kind of fits the vibe of this issue, and just like the frustration and the dynamism dynamicness of.
So you're
life.
saying it'll be great for the Jukebox musical?
100%. I wanted to throw in another genre that's underrepresented. There need to be more Screamo musicals.
Now I just have this picture of Andrew in my head of him just like skipping to the library with a big grin on his face, and like one of his earbuds falls out, and you just hear the Screamo playing.
That's
blaring.
I'm not far off from real life.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Man.
All right, and then we have the ultimate Screamo song right now. I'm really running out of fucking transitions for that bit.
Well,
So
I didn't get my song of the weekend, John.
Oh my god. Okay, play the song backwards so we can go back.
That's how you go back in time. You play the
That's
song.
how you go back in time. That's what Superman did.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Originally, upon the time suck, I was like, man, know what scores this in my mind? Echoes by Pink Floyd. And then I went and looked at the playlist and I was like, that's exactly what I said for the birth of the time suck originally.
I could have told you that. I told you that with my gut.
So I'm gonna go with another prog rock epic. We're gonna score this appearance of the time suck with "Starless" by King Crimson.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
a like really epic, weird, dark prog thing, but also gold through my eyes, but my eyes turned within only see starless and Bible black. You know, gold eyes. There's the little golden circles.
I'm just a toddler in space.
I'm
Approximately 50,000 miles long.
yeah.
The halo on the
Classic.
being is like a Bible-y thing.
Yeah.
Man.
I think it works thematically. Speaking of
I
working
am surprised we got
thematically,
this far. Okay, go ahead.
that was my transition to
that
the
was it.
question of
Okay,
the week
thank
music.
All right, there we go. So, what's a? I'm gonna ask Noah first because I know the answer. Noah, do you have a question of the week?
I do.
Oh, I didn't know the
Not.
answer. No, I'm disappointed. Okay, there we go. Okay.
I've got one if you want it.
Yeah, Andrew, hit us with it.
Mine is inspired by that super sexy pose of Prince Robot
Yep.
Fourth, like shirtless, leaning on the wall, with the field of tulips on his screen, and that is, if you were making that pose entering a bedroom, what would you put on your face screen?
Oh.
You.
We don't have enough face screen questions on here. I like this.
I like that. We definitely do not have enough face screen questions. It's kind of
Nobody does.
That's gonna be kind of like how
Look at every
there was
Apple
like 5
Podcast
episodes where every question was, "What do you think this person's voice sounds like?"
right.
Yeah,
Start
the
at
face
10.
screen is gonna be the new one of that.
Here, and I have a second question for us, which is: would you want a lion cat with you at all times? Has to be there. Has to be with you at all times. Why or why not?
No.
I already know.
I'm gonna say yes.
Oh, and I'll say
tracks.
maybe. And we're just a nice little Goldilocks now.
Aww.
Let's wrap this up. I'm so happy with it.
Tight 40 minutes.
Tight 40 minutes. This might be our longest yet. I'll have to check the
I don't know.
Patrick.
The Patrick Willems one was
Yep.
pretty long. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to come back
think we
on
beat it.
once we get Goose in here. Goose back into the series to break his record. But let's do some plugs.
This might actually be our longest. We'll see how it comes after edits. But I just pulled up the Patrick Willems, and it's a tight hour and 43 minutes.
Oh yeah, no. Once I cut all your shit out, then we're good.
Yeah.
We'll be an actual tight 40. God, we really should have called this podcast Time Suck. I'm gonna skip my plugs.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
we had
We
to
will
save
donate
that.
all of our plug time to Andrew.
Yes.
All right, well, thanks. That's a big honor. I appreciate being on the show. Like I said, I love this podcast. I'm excited that you guys are back recording episodes and all that stuff. And I'm excited for Saga to come back.
Yes.
Yeah, towards the end of January.
Is back. As far
Yes,
as
it is back by the time you're hearing this.
No,
Heck
yeah.
Hopefully, I went to the midnight release that hopefully happened in Indianapolis. But as of recording, they haven't confirmed or denied if it's happening. Next week, they're going to announce it for sure. Anyway.
Sneaky people.
Yeah. I'm Andrew. You can find my show, Amusement Sparks, on social media as Amusement Sparks. It's on Spotify, that kind of thing, and amusementsparks.com. Like I said, John's been on several episodes. We referenced on this podcast, we talked about Adventure Time and Over the Garden Wall. There's theme parks designed around those in the back catalog. Tons of different stuff, including Saga. So yeah, give it a listen if you want to.
And if you want
guys,
a real trip, I think there are I'd say like 2 of them or something are video ones too that I was on.
Yes,
so
there are some video. Yeah, that's true.
If you want to have that weird
flapping
disconnect of seeing my voice come out of a weird face, go check those out on YouTube too.
Yeah, I haven't posted anything to YouTube in maybe 2 years, but yeah, check those out.
Yeah.
I spent way too long making those videos, and they are not good to watch. But I mean, the audio is the exact same, so that part's decent.
There we go. Yeah. I'm content with all of this. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll
thanks,
definitely have
Andrew.
you back at some point. This is I owe you another 3 appearances.
Yeah, I owe you some more
Fantastic.
appearances too, so hit me up. I'd love to do another episode.
That would be so great.
Oh yeah, we will certainly be back on Amusement Sparks. It's just
John
it is
and
a
I
joy
can
to
do
listen
this.
to. It's
Can
a
we
joy
do
to
the Sandman
be on.
episode?
Oh, that's a great one. Sandman. We could do Tenacious D. There's so many.
Here we go. Oh, now you're speaking my
I mean, if
language.
you really want a good one for John, get John to tell you his fucking Coheed and Cambria.
Oh my
amusement
god, I will
park.
do a Coheed and Cambria Park.
I would love to do a
kid.
kid. Yeah, that's a great idea. The comics.
My god, you don't
oh,
even
man.
know. I literally
Yeah,
just
yeah,
bought
yeah.
like a $40 hardcover collection of Coheed comics for myself
Wow.
for Christmas, and it was the happiest I've been in 2 years. Thank you for being on. A big thank you to Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples, Phonographics, especially this issue. You nailed it with the blue cap. Image Comics for making the best time suck of a comic book I've ever read. And as always, Andrew.
Yeah, sign us off.
Am I
buddy.
shitting?
There it is. I'm so happy.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye.
That was the calculated swear. Yeah, I knew it was.
There he goes. Go out on top.